is bypassing the Supreme Court by basically making it where they're allowing private citizens to sue people for abortion. So Gavin Newsom's like, well, I'm gonna make it so that private citizens can sue gun manufacturers and 3D printing gun websites and everybody. Yeah.
That's a totally different. Both are wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, they both shouldn't deputize citizens to do that shit. And so now Gavin Newsom's having a war with freaking Abbott, basically oh well, you're doing this for abortion, we're gonna do this for guns, and it could legitimately will put gun manufacturers out of business if it happens, because you have to think about it, it's unconstitutional. Yeah. So they have to go to court for every single person, so they have to pay a lawyer to go to every single court thing to be hey, this is unconstitutional.
In my opinion, this dude must be missing portions of his brain. How the do you think of something so stupid like that? I
mean, but he got it from Abbott, so I think that I understand what Abbott was doing.
Look, that is dumb in itself. But my whole thing is, why the are you choosing to fight this battle when there are billions of problems still going on in the state?
Yeah, and on top of that, it furthers the point of Democrats want to take your guns. Because everybody's always no, they don't want to take your guns. They just want to take your rifles, your AR-15. It's okay, so what happens if you sue a gun manufacturer and they go out of business? They no longer make any guns, which means what?
These are some stupid people we have in office, man. Holy shit.
See, that's what I'm saying. We're getting to a point with all these issues where it's why can't you people just compromise? Gun control, if you look at the statistics, most of what they're saying is BS. The Democratic Party, right? Most of what they're saying is BS. So it's you could just compromise and be hey, states should just, have to have people go through a simple test, firearm safety test, right? And then obviously, I think there should be some more suicide prevention stuff. But on top of that, it's criminals don't go to gun stores. There's just so much about the gun debate where it's bro, what?
Criminals don't get legal guns. Literally, the places with the strictest gun laws have the worst crime: Chicago, New York, and LA.
New Jersey, LA, San Francisco, Oakland. It's these are primarily Democratic-run cities. I mean, look at Austin, Texas too. A primarily Democrat-run city with Democratic policies. I mean, especially here with all the crime here, and you have the police officers union saying tourists don't come here.
But why is he wasting his time with this dumb shit? Legitimately, try to attack homelessness. COVID is still a thing. There's a whole bunch of the CDC just revoked the FDA, the PCR testing thing, so it's no longer has emergency authorization. So it's basically useless at this point. But that's still going to be there's so many things that need to be addressed within just the state alone, let alone the whole country. And he's no, we're going to pick this battle with tech.
Dude, but that's what I'm saying.
My God. I don't get it. It's all optics. It's all PR. He doesn't care.
When I talk to people about politics, I'm how are you why can't you guys just come to the independent side in the middle and stop supporting Democrats and Republicans? Because it's basically just a war between the two of we're gonna get this policy,
and then they're all gonna sell you out in the end anyway.
Exactly, and they don't actually do any. There's no actual change. It's not Republican cities don't have homelessness and Democratic cities do. They both have homelessness. They both have education problems. They both have crime. I mean, Democratic cities way more, but they both have similar issues, and not one side has solved either. And
it's just how are you? I guarantee you, so much of this would be fixed if you changed Congress's. If you did two things, Congress members can no longer get lobbied, and two, they have to be paid on how well their cities are doing and their areas they represent.
I wouldn't say pay on how well they're doing. I would say pay the median income of their constituents.
Oh, that would also work as well.
Because it would significantly lower the amount that they make, and then it would be one of those things of if you want to go into office,
you have to genuinely want to help.
Exactly,
instead because of just you're not selling out to major, huge companies that aren't going to do anything for you.
Exactly. The only issue that has to be solved with that would be how are they able to advertise to the people, how like their campaigns. I think personally that there should be like government spending in the sense of like for each campaign, for each level, there should be like a certain amount of spending, right? And you can donate to their campaigns, right? But only every person can only donate so much. Because what you have is you'll be like, oh, George
there
Gascon
already is a cap on that. It's just certain I'm pretty sure there are laws on that. I think an individual can only donate up to like 1,000 or 10,000 per person or something like that. No, an individual. However, companies is a totally different thing.
They need to regulate that.
Yeah.
Because it essentially what's happening is whoever gets the most money wins. I mean, that's literally what happened with George Gascon.
I mean, now it's there is a case. I believe it's somewhere in the East Coast. There was a trucker who ran for office and he only spent like $153 on ads.
But that could also just be.
And we might be heading that direction. People literally might be so sick and tired of like shitty fucking politicians.
We'll see.
That they'll vote for anyone.
Gavin Newsom's up for re-election in next November. And
I didn't like Larry Elders to begin with, but
But see, that's
almost
my thing.
anything.
Larry Elder could have won if he wasn't branded as a Republican. If he had ran as an independent and he specifically didn't talk about like COVID, right? If he had like addressed it and said like, hey, like, you know, he's done some things bad with COVID, then it would have been okay. But if he had like ran his entire platform on all of the different things that Newsom did wrong and ran as an independent, he would have won.
I think California just. If there's gonna be someone who runs for Republican,
it's gonna have to be an independent. Well, no, there's no Republican that'll win. It has to be an independent.
Yeah, the only way someone would win, I think, if someone wants to win popular votes as opposed to Newsom, like the only way for them to get people from both sides, like rural red areas and like the huge blue areas, to win, is if they're just running on the whole thing of like, let's just fix COVID, no crazy shit, open schools back up. And then focus on like infrastructure. I think if someone ran on basic stuff like that, they could probably win. Because
it's really not that hard.
Fucking idiot we have in office currently, my opinion, an idiot we have in office, is doing the and wasting time and money on stuff he doesn't care about.
Comment down below and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.